Start back here in the jungle. Weeds are foot high, or a little less. Getting them reduced. Getting the trees spread around again. So this section got redone. Started last year. Probably take me all this year to finish it up. By the time I get the watering redone, you can see the cords on the ground. It's got a drip system. They go into each pot. If you guys ever wonder, it's on a time system that zones go on, and they water the tree with these little spray heads. And it's nice, but it's a lot of work because the heads get snapped off every year, some of them, and you gotta always maintain them. You will expect them to be working, and they're not. So you can find a dead tree because it's got a sprinkler head in it, and it was working like 3-4 days ago, but then lo and behold, something got in the line, whatever it is. I don't know. Animal bites, chews through the little plastic cord, plastic line, and yeah. Then a couple days without water, and you have a crispy plant in a pot. Not necessarily dead, but usually leads to that. So that's knowledge of irrigations. Oh my God. Those irritating sounds. So nice color of oh my gosh. Yeah, that tree. That one particular tree. Oh my gosh. Well, whatever it is, this is what I talk about is attacks. You can see on the bark, the squirrel decided to nibble on it. So there's always something. And I can look at the tag. Find the tag. I should know what it is. It's the orange one. And the tag has been taken off the pot. I'm putting on the tree. It is Ariadne. There you go. Yep. It already becomes a scratch and dent and just got here. That's how it goes. That's why you never want to be in a nursery. That's a Shiraz Gish Gone Wild. This is one that I've had for years, Matsuyo. Just absolutely gorgeous. Everybody loves it. But you know what? It's been here for, I don't know, 12 years, 15 years. Gish Gone Wild. There's a red dragon. Rare, kind of normal red weeper for me. The Korean fir is Aria. Can't remember what this pine is. It's growing pretty fast. I'll have to look. I think it's a strobus. That's a really nice upright, the America Aria. Yeah, hopefully you can hear those kids. They're my neighbors. So there's Fire Glow. Behind it, Arium. Gemus Nago. Orange Dream. And this was Utsu Midori. Sure pretty color. New tree I got in. Big. And then Dr. Brown. It's such a favorite of mine. Right next to this one here, it's Hino Tori Nishike. These are prime spots when people are walking through the yard. So key in my yard is knowing the prime spots that jump all the trees out so people can get excited and take them home. This is nice fairy lights. Really airy at this point in time. I do prune my trees a lot, so if you ever wonder about pruning, just follow some of the methods of bonsai and trying to reduce your growth, you know, depending on what you want the tree. But I prune really early, so I take away a lot of the good color, but Just leave a couple branches on it, or a couple little short twigs or new leaves. Jerry Schwartz. But you got to be careful, you know, the tree is established, because if you take too much off early, you just decline the tree, and it'll just keep declining and declining. So, as some trees do in the pot. So this one here, you can see the beautiful color, but it's really declining because it's in the pot. I've ordered fertilizer, which I don't necessarily like, but I will use, and the recommendation is the one that was given to me by a great grower is like equal to what you put on grass. So I don't know. We'll try. We'll see. You know, everything's like a mystery. So this Pocomo is looking really nice. Another Almerica. This is kind of a crazy one for my buddy Dave. Mr. Dave. Hopefully he gets better. He had a little stint in the hospital this last week or two. It's like everybody it was meeting was in the hospital, or this year my mom was in a memory care, so I didn't even get to visit her for Mother's Day. First time ever, well, I wouldn't say ever, but pretty much ever, that I didn't spend Mother's Day with her. So it was too booked up with this COVID. So, this is Gish Gone Wild. You can see I got a lot of those. You know, Taurine Ashiki really stands out. The big Hinoki, so to speak, big Hinoki, is Golden Pillar. Really like it. Really narrow. It does get yellow coloration to it if it's in sun. This one wasn't in a lot of sun. Big pixie at the end. The Elgins back there is still looking pretty crazy. It is an orange tree. Call that Orange Dream. Since Orange Dream does not do that, it's just a yellow tree with a tinge of orange. Katsura does well. Move this lemon lime lace into the corner back there. Little hinoki, or hemlock there, Canadian hemlock. Like behind it, the Abies, that's a Normanienda pendula, kind of upright, kind of weeping, crazy tree. They look really cool. That's Elizabeth, nice red one. Behind it is one of my favorites, but it's kind of obscure by a lot of people, and that's Shitosayama. Comes out with this really kind of peach color, beautiful peach, beautiful red stamens on it, and then just kind of stays red-green, and then just has, again, outstanding fall color. Kind of like nobody's like jumping out at it, but for me it's one of those trees that I can always find in a garden. So when I look out and amongst her, I'm like, oh, that's a Shitosayama. Where you get a lot of people, or I get a lot of people that ask me, oh, what's this tree? And I'm like, have no clue, you know, because so many of these trees are so alike. It just, you know, every time you turn around, oh, this tree, well, that's the same as that tree. They have different names, you know. Then they do grow a little bit different, and some of them do improve. So, like, here's a tree, Akaya Kawa Jaime. So it is a dwarf red bark tree. Dwarf. There have been numerous ones. Winter Flame was one of them. Winter Flame ended up being a little bit larger than a dwarf, getting to like 10-12 feet, just big mess. This one has stayed smaller. There was Fellheim. Fellheim was beautiful, but you know, there's none out there. They all died. So it's, you know, it's this happy medium of finding one that works, stays alive in the garden, and then you like it. So that's behind it is Eye Candy. And then I got my annoying neighbor with this big heavy truck. So down there, that's that vine maple. It just looks gorgeous. Nice mountain hemlock right there. That is Green Cascade. Sorry, I lost my train of thought with the truck. So here is the refrigerator, better known as Purple Ghost. Little Elizabeth, and behind it, Big Elizabeth. Here's a pine tree I really like, but it just hasn't hit yet with people. It's a dwarf Virginiana. Wakes blue, or wakes. There you go. Really nice tree. Has beautiful fall color, or beautiful winter color. Very, very slow growing. Nice shape. Really easy to maintain. And so far, it doesn't seem to get some of the diseases that I'm getting out of the Chief Joe and a couple of the others now. This moth or whatever it is that's growing in them. Another big geisha gone wild. Yeah, better add that. This yellow one's gorgeous. Golden spreader. There's the big refrigerator. Kind of looks like a box, you know. You know how they meatball things? Well, there's a meatball. And eventually I'll prune it out of it. It's basically thinning the top and bringing it around a little bit. Unless somebody really wants a big refrigerator, which they may. Fit like a lot of other landscaping. It's Montgomery. There's a geisha gone wild. Just got stocked up on those, so they're everywhere. That's Amber Ghost. So through my years, I've really limited the amount of trees and what I have, because it just really comes down to what sells and what doesn't sell. You know, in a big case, you know, there's a lot of these trees, you know, even like this Village Toronto, and really nice tree, but you know, again, it just is not quite the shape or whatever somebody's looking for. It doesn't really have the pop of like an Amber Ghost or a Geisha Gone Wild or some of that, and it just, you know, they're like, no, I'll pass on it. You know, occasionally somebody wants it, but not a lot. So it's kind of an interesting deal. What I started out doing, I keep changing. And now you can see there's a boatload of, or several truckloads of dwarf conifers, because now in most of my gardens that you see, there's 3 or 4 or more dwarf conifers planted. And these things are great because, you know, you put it in the ground and maybe 15 years later it might be 4 or 5 feet tall and you did nothing other than just occasionally water it. Mikazuki. Alright, well, that's longer than most people watch, so I'll call it a night.